Now, I want to summarize for you once again, viewer, just how scathing those observations are by Justice Sharma of the Delhi High Court. Just take a look at the words used by the Delhi High Court while dismissing the plea against arrest by Kejriwal. Number one, Kejriwal conspired with others. Not our words, not the BJP's words, not the Congress's words. These are Delhi High Court words. Kejriwal involved in taking kickbacks. Kejriwal generated proceeds of crime. Kejriwal involved in personal capacity. Kejriwal involved as the Aam Aadmi Party convener. Doubting statements equals to doubting court. Not the first case with approver statements. Trial with approver statements not new. The Enforcement Directorate had enough material for this arrest. Who gives tickets, who purchases bonds, not the court's concern. Judges bound by law, not by politics. These are the words of Justice Swarnakanta Sharma of the Delhi High Court. I want to bring in all of my reporters who've been bringing us this story, reporting on this story and the political and legal fallout. Shreya Chatterjee is with us live from the Delhi High Court, as is Shrishti Ojha. Also with me is Amit Bharadwaj, who tracks the Aam Aadmi Party. Munish Pandey will be joining us also in just a moment from now. We've got Nalini also tracking all the legal developments and fallout. Shrishti, quickly coming to you first. It's one thing for the BJP or, earlier the Congress to make these comments, about kickbacks, about the involvement of Arvind Kejriwal, etc. It's a whole new dynamic when the High Court, uses the same words, uses these words. Put that into perspective for us in terms of how much of a setback this is for Arvind Kejriwal, legally speaking.
Well, Shiv, definitely a huge setback for Arvind Kejriwal because, as you rightly pointed out, these are not political statements which are being made by politicians. High Court, a constitutional court, has today made very strong remarks, not just about the excise policy matter, but about Arvind Kejriwal's involvement in this particular case while refusing to set aside his arrest. Court has clearly said that Arvind Kejriwal not only conspired with other accused in this case, but also was actively involved in taking kickbacks and also generating and transfer of proceeds of crime, which is a huge remark as far as an accused in a money laundering case is concerned. Now, if we see the High Court's remarks in terms of arguments that were made on behalf of Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, firstly, the legality of arrest. Court has clearly said his arrest was legal, so was his remand. All the mandates as provided under law were followed. All the procedural formalities were also fulfilled by both ED and also the court. So the arrest is legal. Secondly, the necessity of arrest. Court has clearly said ED was in possession of enough material to arrest Delhi's chief minister. In fact, High Court has gone a step ahead and also said that non-cooperation by Arvind Kejriwal, referring to when he refused to respond to the summons or to be questioned by ED in response to their summons, the court has said that was also a contributing factor to his arrest. Not the sole factor, but definitely an important factor. Thirdly, political arguments that were brought in by his lawyers. Court has said that political considerations cannot be brought to court. It's not a case of central government versus Arvind Kejriwal. It's a case of ED versus Arvind Kejriwal. As far as Arvind Kejriwal's lawyer saying that, a sitting chief minister is arrested, court has also again said that there can't be a separate law, a separate category of law for common citizens and a separate law just to provide privileges to a sitting chief minister. Also, with regard to his arrest being done right before the upcoming Lok Sabha elections or his arrest right after announcement of the Model Code of Conduct, the court has questioned the logic of arguments on behalf of Kejriwal and said that if they accept Kejriwal's argument, it would basically mean that Arvind Kejriwal would not have challenged his own arrest for being illegal had he been arrested by ED before the Model Code of Conduct was announced. And lastly, of course, about the approver's statements, court has said that it's a matter of trial. At this stage, a court cannot comment on whether the statements of the approvers were correct or not. If Mr. Kejriwal wants to question why the approvers did not name him in their initial statements, he can very well do so later on when during cross-examination. In this case, the law of approvers is a very old law. It's 100 years old law, has not been set aside till now, and it's not the first time in Mr. Arvind Kejriwal's case that the law of that the approvers' statements are being relied on by a probe agency. So definitely a big setback with regard to not getting a relief, and also the very strong
you've put that into perspective for us, because the dynamic of a court actually saying this rather than the political rivals of Arvind Kejriwal saying it, takes it entirely to the next level. I'll go to Amit in just a moment, but I want to quickly bring Shreya in as well because she's been tracking the investigation. Shreya, things like Kejriwal's conspired with others, Kejriwal involved in taking kickbacks, Kejriwal generated proceeds of crime, Kejriwal involved in personal capacity, Kejriwal involved as Aam Aadmi Party convener. These are things one normally hears, from ED sources, or, let's leave the politics out of this, from the ED or from the investigative agencies. This is coming from a court. So not only will the ED, I hazard to guess, will be seeing what the High Court has said today as something of an, of a vindication, but give us a sense of how this, how this impacts the probe itself.
Shiv, it only suggests that what the Aam Aadmi Party was saying does not really stand a legal ground. And when we hear the statements that have come in from the Delhi High Court, the court has very categorically said that the Enforcement Directorate has furnished evidence at hand which suggests that Arvind Kejriwal was involved in the crime. Evidence in the form of statements by the Hawala the ones who were involved in the Hawala scheme, the others, for example, the Goa Aam Aadmi Party candidates, and apart from that, also the approver statements. Very categorically, what the court has suggested that the ED's evidence is enough to actually direct that Arvind Kejriwal is somewhere down the line linked in generating the proceeds of the crime, and hence the arrest cannot be challenged. The court has also said that in this particular case, the rigors of Section 70 of the PMLA, which penalizes a company offences, is something that also applies fit. Remember, the Enforcement Directorate earlier had said that Aam Aadmi Party over here should be looked at as a company, and since Arvind Kejriwal is a convener, it is important to investigate his role. So somewhere down the line, as you rightly pointed it out, today's observations and the order somewhere down the line vindicates the investigation that is being done by the Enforcement Directorate.
Okay, I've told you what the High Court has said. Now, it's very interesting to compare with what the Enforcement Directorate's charges against Arvind Kejriwal are. And these are from the remand copy, which we've been reporting on. Just take a look at these points and remember what the High Court has said. 1. Kejriwal is kingpin of the Delhi excise scam. Conspiracy for formulating excise policy to favour certain persons. Involved in demanding kickbacks from liquor businessmen. Involved in use of proceeds of crime in Aam Aadmi Party's Goa poll campaign. Vijay Nair received 100 crore rupees on behalf of Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party from the South Group. Payments for Goa campaign made through the Hawala route. All of this on record in the remand copy that was filed by the Enforcement Directorate during Arvind Kejriwal's arrest.